Hi everybody, welcome to another Monday with Luciana. Such a special Monday today because we are going to talk about Dover. Have you ever heard about Dover? Dover was really one of the most special horses in my life, and he just left us last weekend with 34 years old. We have so many nice stories about Dover that I would like to invite you today. Dr. Santina, which is my best friend since 34 years and knows also a lot of stories about Dover. So, Santina, I would like to welcome you also for this Monday talking about our special friend Dover. And that's also why I have this beautiful heart behind us in memory to Dover.
Hello, sorry, I was a bit late.
Don't
Yeah,
worry. Yes, it's wonderful to have you here with us today talking about Dover. We have so many nice moments together with him. Is that right?
yeah, that's absolutely correct. I think since the beginning of the history, I don't know if you'd like to start the things talking about how Dover born. It was a special thing.
You know what? We have so many nice questions about Dover, asking how I met him, how he came in my life, how long did he was, jumping the competitions in Europe, what age was last week when he just left us to another universe. So I think the best thing is if we tell a little bit and the story about Dover. And that's why I think you are the best person to tell us how Dover was born, because it was a funny story and
Yeah,
born by chance. So
yeah,
if you can just explain like us how that happened.
yeah. It's funny because nowadays we talk a lot about pedigrees, that we use this stallion, that special Merrill. He was absolutely an exception because it was a weekend that two friends went for the same farm, and then it was a mare in season, and the father was a very normal thoroughbred, absolutely normal horse for amateur horse, and they decide to make it. So they decide to make, and then after 11 months, then it was born a very small thoroughbred. He was really a thoroughbred, not really correct on the legs, things like that. So that's the things started.
Born by chance, right?
Absolutely by chance, absolutely by chance. And then another funny thing is that when he was a year, the mother of Dover was sold, and then they gave as a ship Dover. That was the beginning of the history. So it was nobody trusted him when he born. That's the first thing. And then you can tell us how you met him. You'd like to tell, Luciana?
Yes. I have a very good friend at that time called Regina Medeiros, which has been many years together with us in Brazil, also in Europe, and then she worked many years in La Silla in Mexico. And she said to me one day, Luciana, I know a special horse for you. It's been ridden by a friend of us, a Japanese family, and he's been doing the junior championships and he's jumping really great. But I believe that this horse has more potential than just to be in Brazil and jumping the small junior competitions. So she really convinced us. I remember we went together to try him in Paraná. Is that correct? Right?
Yeah, the south of the country, exactly.
So we went there and we tried him. And it was like an unusual trying because he was a little horse, he was a little thoroughbred, and he just jumped like over the fences. He didn't do anything really spectacular, but I have to say that Regina really convinced us that the horse had something special and had this potential, which we had at that moment not seen that. So that's how we got him in our lives also, again, by chance. And then you and me, we believed it on him. Then we did some shows, in Brazil, and then we prepared our trip to Europe. Remember, it was like a country boy from Brazil going in his first trip to Europe, already going in the airplane. So it
Yeah.
was something like a huge thing for him. And then we know the story after. So you like to say something more about it?
Yeah, it was very fun. It was the first thing. Remember, the first time that you went there, we went 2 times there, and then the first time, the Japanese people said, "I don't want to sell the horse because if I sell this horse, I'm sure that my son is not going to ride anymore because this horse is such special for him that he's not going to able." Okay, I think a year later, the guy phoned and said, okay, now I decide to sell. And then there was a big agreement related of the selling. And then the funny thing it was that when you bought the horse, the friends of this Japanese guy, this this rider, it was so funny because the friends make a party because he said, we are not going to see him again be winner in front of us because everybody knows that the horse was so special at that level at that moment. And then they make a party, so happy with Luciana that she bought the horse. He's not going to be in our friend anymore. And it was true.
Exactly. So, like I said, I jumped some shows in Brazil, and then we took him to Europe. And then Dover landed with like 8 years old, already being the winner of the national championships in Bremen. He won the final of the 7 and 8 years old league and in Bremen. And then it was in the big newspaper article about him that nobody from overseas. And then suddenly, with 9 years old, we went to Aachen, which was a huge, big show for him and for me as well. I was, again, young. And then we started our first day falling off. The first day, it was an opening class, and there was a ditch, you know, the circle ditches, which he was, I think he never has seen that in his life, with a little gate, like narrow gate. So for Dover was like something really like a monster. And then he stopped on that fence on the first day, and I fall off. So that was our start in Aachen. And then I said, no, we're gonna keep going, Dover. And I had Ralph at the other hand, which was a fantastic horse and very safe and really like ready to go, which qualified me for the Grand Prix on Saturday and on Sunday. So I had only the option to ride Dover on the Grand Prix on Saturday, and I said, how can I do that? So I jumped in another competition and then just one more to see if he would be able to do that. And the final result of that Saturday Grand Prix is that we won. And we won in front of Ludger Beerbaum, which was at that moment like my idol, the #1 in the world. Like he was unbeatable, and he won with the horse called Priamus. So for us to win that Grand Prix in front of Ludger Beerbaum was one of the most special victories in my life. And I even remember my mother screaming on the tribune, come on, Lucky, let's go, Lucky. And everyone like starts getting to know my mother, and she became famous of screaming, go, Lucky, come on, Lucky, let's go, Lucky. So when people would see me after, they would just say, not congratulations, they would say, come, Lucky. So Dover gave us so many nice moments in Europe, and really through so many years. And he was the responsible of making me change even my nationality from Brazil to Portugal. So do you remember when we did that, son, in 2000?
Yes, absolutely. The Brazilian, nobody believes, nobody trusts him. They said that you are going to die with him in Aachen. And then it was completely, it was a very difficult moment. No, I think it was a difficult decide for you, but you trust so much Dover, and he gave you so much good feeling for you, and you can trust on him. It was in the moment it was crazy because he was completely you when you see the fences you only can see his ears, only you cannot see. It was somebody asked you how tall he is. I think he was 161, so 162. No,
He was 162 with shoes. So
with shoes, with big shoes. So he was nearly a pony. No, that it was. I remember that at the beginning the guy said the pony that comes from Brazil. It's really something special because what he made in Aachen a few times, not only that was the last time, and even when we decide together to retire him. Another person asked when he was retired, Luciana.
yeah, let's want to just go back to the Road Championship in 2006 in Aachen, when I changed from Brazil to Portugal. And Dover was 18. He was 18 years old. So there was the little Brazilian pony going to the Road Championship in Aachen, which the Brazilian Federation said, no way he can jump that. And then I had really to say and get all my like strength inside me and to believe on him. That is when I learned really to trust and to talk to my horse. That is when I really started talking to my horses, and I spoke every day with Dover twice. I remember we had that connection, especially the last 4 to 3 weeks just before the championship, when we knew we are starting for a new country with that big challenge. So we really grow a special connection with us. He was 18, like I said, and from 175 starters, starting on the first day of the Road Championship in Aachen, we finished in the top 20 in the final on Sunday. So for us, it was a huge victory. Like there is no name to describe the feelings we had on that championship. And even to carry on, like you just said, Aachen has been always a special place for Dover. In 1998, he won the Grand Prix, the Saturday Grand Prix in front of Ludger Beerbaum. 2006, he finished in the top 20 of the Road Championship. And through these years, he had so many victories, so many Grand Prix, and even been victors and second place. But he was always on the placements. He was a fast horse. He was a fighter. He would give everything when he was in the ring. And then he was retired at 21 in Aachen, jumping the North Rhine-Westphalian Grand Prix on Friday, which is also a huge Grand Prix for a little pony like him. And when he was clear on that day, and we went in the jump off, which I remember I had one mistake in the jump off, but he was placed on that Grand Prix. You came to me, and then Vlad, which was our groom at that time, and said, Luciana, I think this is the right moment now to retire him. And you said something really funny about that on that day. Do you remember why you said we should retire him?
Yeah, I do. No, because 21 is a lot. 21 is a lot. We are talking about old people, and then when it was, I think I have to argue a lot because he was so healthy. And if you look for his legs, he was completely thin and nothing wrong, nothing big, and that was the big difficulty. But we are talking about old people, and then we have to remember that there is more things than we can see. That was the key point. We have to fight against you, remember, Luciana, because you don't want to. He was very healthy. That's true.
And you said to me, Luciana, he can hardly eat anymore. He has no more teeth. So how you like to go in the course and jump 1.60 m when he can hardly eat? And I mean, we're just making fun about it, but he was losing his teeth. And then he said, so it's more than time now to retire him. But I remember I told you and Vlad, I said, look, the horse is so happy. He wants to do it. He lives competition. He loves it. So if you're going to like kill him, but honestly, there was the right moment to do it. We sent him to Brazil. And since there, I would say the last 14 years, he's been the best friend of my father in our farm in Vila Fau. He has his own paddock, which has been like his paddock the last, like I said, 14 years, and gave a lot of pride to my family. Everyone came there to see him there every time, running, trotting, being happy. And like I said, he was a really healthy horse, legs and everything, like a thoroughbred. He had like joy to live life. And this is the message from Dover today, a horse that taught me so much trust, so much confidence, and that like really believing on me and him together. This match, it was amazing. So I have so many things just to thank him, this amazing horse that has been there so many years for us and gave so much happiness for my family, for me, for all of us, for you. And thank you so much, Santina, for taking good care of him, that he could go so many years in the sport. And I thank you, all of you, my fans, that has been really sending me nice message for Dover, because he was a special horse and he had the biggest heart, like this heart here, which I'm embracing him now and giving him all my best wishes for a nice life in another universe. Thank you so much, Santina, for being here and sharing life with me.
If you have more questions, because there are a few questions about him, you can just answer us, and then Luciana will answer you, and I can answer as well too. Thank you very much for following us.
With a lot of good things to give to us. And yeah, we are there. We are a great team. Thank you so much, and I wish you a wonderful week. Bye.
Yeah. Bye.